For this demo, we will download a VaporLogic controller firmware update and update the firmware on the controller board and on the touchscreen display. This demo is captured in the Chrome browser on a Windows PC. Firefox and Edge browsers also support firmware downloads from DrySteam. Make sure you have a FAT32 formatted USB flash drive with at least 16 megabytes capacity and with no files or folders stored on it. Insert the flash drive into the USB port on your computer and make sure the flash drive is empty as shown here. From the DrySteam homepage, click on the Get Help tab and click inside of the Firmware Updates box. For this demo, we are updating a humidifier with a VaporLogic version 6 controller, and here is the link for downloading the firmware update. Almost always the default to the Downloads folder. The download is a zip file that we will unzip onto the flash drive. Right-click the folder and select Extract All. When prompted for a location, choose the flash drive, which in this demo is drive D. Select the drive, click the Select Folder button, and one last prompt. Click the Extract button, and the firmware gets unzipped onto the flash drive as shown here. The controller automatically selects the files it needs from these folders, depending on the product family and model. Pull the flash drive out of the USB port and access the VaporLogic controller board in the unit to be updated, which in this demo is a GTS LX50 humidifier. Before we update the firmware, let's check what version is currently running. Tap Settings, Display, and Humidifier Info. As shown here, the firmware version is one of the many items listed on the screen. This humidifier is running with firmware version 6.3.3. Tap the Home icon to return to the home screen. Now we need to put the humidifier in standby, so tap Mode and tap Standby. Disconnect the display, Ethernet, multi-tank, and field bus wires from the board. Some units, such as this humidifier, do not have all of these connections. The USB port is here. Insert the flash drive containing the firmware into this port. Almost immediately, these LEDs begin to blink. Depending on how much work the firmware update requires, it can take anywhere from just a few seconds to several minutes. When the update is complete, the lights blink simultaneously, accompanied by a clicking sound. This is our cue to remove the flash drive. If the update advances the firmware version by multiple increments, the clicking sound might not occur. In such instances, the controller reboots with the flash drive still plugged into the USB port. This is not a problem, but do not pull the flash drive until the controller has rebooted completely. The LEDs that blinked during the firmware update must be on or off, but not blinking. Reconnect the Ethernet, display, multi-tank, and field bus wires. The touchscreen display also has a USB port for firmware updates. We removed the panels for this video to show its location, but it can be reached without panel removal. Plug the flash drive into this USB port. Almost right away, the display goes blank and turns back on to indicate that it has been updated. Pull the flash drive and the display reboots. Install covers and shrouds that were removed and return the humidifier to service with the new firmware version, which on the day this video was made is version 6.3.4.